But until my will runs dry, send I over me, baby.
Story time. And this story time is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Now, before y'all come for me in the comments, I love my Delta Airlines. I'm a Sky Miles member. I am hoping to eventually make it to the point where I can get in the Delta Lounge without having to ask somebody to come get me or let me use a buddy pass. But nevertheless, here's a story time. So this actually takes place in Los Angeles. I was flying from LAX back home to Atlanta. And this actually happened Thursday night going into Friday, okay? This is a red-eye flight. So I'm going to set the scene for y'all. I went to LA. Everything was fine. Had a wonderful time with TikTok and some executives. And it was a lot of fun. There's a video on my page that you can see kind of how that was like. I was booked for a red-eye flight Thursday night, leaving at 11:59 p.m. and I should be arriving back home in Atlanta at around 7:15 in the morning. That's what I was booked on. So, made it to the airport to LAX. Everything was fine. Made it to Terminal 3. Made it to my gate 37A. And everything was good. I still had my hair on. I had some comfortable clothes on. We're good. They go ahead, they start boarding us. I get to my seat and I see that we're on like the brand new 2025 Delta plane. Okay. This thing was nice. The new seats, they're a little more roomier. I didn't need an extension. I was feeling skinny. I was feeling good. As soon as I sat in my seat, because it is a red-eye flight, I took a sleeping pill and I was feeling good. So everyone's loading. We're all good. They eventually tell us, we're going to go ahead and we're getting ready to push back from the gate. Please enjoy this Delta flight, the video that tells you about the safety features on this plane. And if you've ever flown Delta, you know what video I'm talking about. So go ahead, we push back. Remember, I took a sleeping pill. So I'm already starting to feel a little woozy, starting to feel a little like, yes, I took the hair off and put a bonnet on. It was dark. It's fine. Y'all seen me with a scarf on. I was comfortable. I done kicked off my sneakers, have on my fuzzy socks. I was good, ready to go for a good night's sleep so I could wake up at around 7 o'clock in Atlanta, go home, get dressed, get refreshed, and then go to work. That was the plan. So we pushed back from the gate. And then we eventually make it to that part where you're out right before you get to the runway. So the best analogy I can give is when you're at the end of the corner at the stop sign and you just waiting to go ahead and, go into the next thing. So we're sitting there, sleeping pills starting to kick in. So I'm just like, all right, well, I'll wake up when I can tell that we're about to take off, because you can always kind of feel when the plane is getting ready to take off. We still sitting there. And we still sitting there. And I look out the window and I'm like, ain't no traffic. What's going on? Like, ain't no planes coming. So what the problem is? No sooner do I think that, here comes the captain. Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. We're having a little maintenance issue. So we're going to have to be towed back to the gate. Y'all, at this point, the sleeping pill is playing crime mob, knuck if you buck. So it's like beating my ass. And I'm thinking to myself, why don't you just put the plane in reverse and go ahead and go back to the gate? Don't come for me. It was late. So anyway, we eventually get towed back to the gate. And for those of you who were like, well, that kind of makes sense. A plane can't get in reverse. I know. We eventually make it back to gate 37A. And then he comes back and he says, we're going to bring maintenance on so they can try to fix what the issue is. If they clear us, we're going to go ahead and head out to Atlanta. We're sorry for the delay. We're just going to try to get this fixed as quickly as we can. So I'm sitting there, fall asleep. I wake up and I can hear the maintenance guy still talking. So clearly, whatever little nap I had, we're still sitting at 37A. So finally, captain comes back. And the captain, I'm going to tell y'all what he said, and then I'm going to tell you what I heard. It'll make sense. What he said was, ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, it's your captain again. Basically, the number 2 engine wasn't working. And so maintenance is trying to fix the issue. If they fix the issue and we are cleared, we're going to go ahead and head to Atlanta. If they don't fix the issue, then what Delta's going to do is try to find another plane, and then we will go ahead and get everyone on that plane. We'll have to deboard, but we'll get you to Atlanta. Then he said, this is what he said. In about 4 hours, we're going to cap out at our time. And so Delta is trying to get it fixed, but in about 4 hours, our crew is going to cap out on our time. What I heard was, ladies and gentlemen, this your captain. All right, the plane is acting up. We're going to try to get it fixed, but whatever Delta's going to do, if they don't get it fixed, they get you another plane. Whatever they're going to do, I'm clocking out in 4 hours. We'll get you, somebody will get you to Atlanta, but I'm clocking out in 4 hours. I swear to y'all, that's what I heard. But again, that is a sleeping pill. So I'm sitting there in my seat, kind of laughing at the own thoughts that I had in my head. And I'm thinking to myself, he's basically letting us know, y'all need to fix this issue because I'm clocking out in 4 hours. I don't give a damn what you do. Needless to say, fall back to sleep. Wake up. Flight attendants turned on the lights. I said, damn. Sure enough, she's so sweet. She comes over the loudspeaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry, but we're not cleared to leave to go to Atlanta. We're going to have to deboard the plane. Please grab all of your things. Don't worry about your bags. We're going to go ahead and take care of it. Everything will be fine. So we proceed to deboard the plane. I proceed, fix my bonnet, put my hoodie on to cover my bonnet, put my sneakers back on, grab my stuff, and get off the plane. We're off the plane at gate 37A at LAX. The airport is damn near closed. There's nothing open. Even the women's bathroom was closed for cleaning. So we're all just kind of going out into the gate area, just sitting there. Some people got on the floor, started, to go back to sleep. Other people tried to go, I guess, kind of see what other bathrooms were open. I sat there, one eye open, one eye closed, pulled my hoodie down so that it's covering my eyes, so maybe I can close my eyes for a minute. And then I get an alert from Delta on my phone saying, hey, you're going to be boarding at 1:35. We were supposed to leave at 11:59, so it's now 1:15, 1:20 in the morning. My mind and my body are on Atlanta time, so I am just like, I'm fighting to stay awake just so I can know what's going on. So the gentleman at the gate, I don't know his name, but the gate agent basically says, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry. Do not worry. We are working to try to get this resolved. As soon as I know, I will let you guys know. You don't have to stand in line, because there were people in line, I guess, trying to get rebooked. Because if you had a connecting flight in Atlanta, chances are you're going to miss that flight. So he's letting everyone know, we're taking care of your bags. Everything's going to be taken care of. I'm just trying to get more information. I felt a little bad for him because there was such a long line of people ready to be like, get me on another flight. There were no other flights that night. So Delta sends out a thing on our app saying, if you would like to get rebooked, here are some options. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I was in a first class seat. There were no flights available later on that had first class available. They were all sold out. So basically, I had the decision of either wait and see what's going to happen, or you're going to have to try to get on the next flight where you're still booked in the cabin that you're currently in, which would have been the red eye for Friday night into Saturday. Did I lose you? Does that make sense? So in other words, I would have had to wait almost a full day to try to get into another flight that had my same class that I was booked in. If I booked a flight in a different class, it said on the app, you will not get credit for the difference. I cannot believe this, but don't worry, there is a part 2. And before y'all even trip, I'm going to upload all this in one day. So part 2 coming. Okay, part 2 of my red eye situation with Delta. Okay, so let's just recap real quick. So remember, we're at LAX. Flight should have taken off at 11:59 p.m. It is now, at this point in the story, almost 2 o'clock. We had to deboard the plane, get off the plane, go back to the gate area. Our gate was at 37A at LAX, for those of you that know LAX. So I'm just picking up where we're at the point of the gate agent letting everyone know, hey, Delta, we're working very hard to rectify this situation. Please stay in the gate area. As soon as I know more, I'm going to let you all know. Remember, I took a sleeping pill as soon as I got on that plane, and I thought I was going to be 35,000 feet in the air, just knocked out. My body hasn't yet figured out, no, bitch, you can't go to sleep yet. So I'm doing some kung fu fighting with this sleeping pill that's all in my system. So we're sitting in the gate area. Some people are asleep on the floor. I use the family bathroom because the women's bathroom is closed for cleaning. There's a airport worker who is just vacuuming the carpet, looking at us like, what in the world? Because again, there's no flights coming in. There's no flights leaving. So technically speaking, LAX is just about closed. So we're sitting there and we sitting there. I done pulled my hoodie down to cover my eyes, so I'm trying to just take a nap, just sitting there, because whatever announcement he makes, I'll hear it, I hope, and it'll wake me up. He comes back and he tells us, ladies and gentlemen, Delta was able to get a plane. It's on its way here, and once they give me the go-ahead, we will begin boarding. Please don't leave the gate area. I'll give you more instruction. What I heard was, or at least what I thought to myself, because I'm sitting there and at this point, I'm cracking up to myself. So y'all went in the garage and found a plane? Y'all gonna rinse it off real quick, gas it up, probably had to find the keys. I know you don't need keys for a plane, but I'm just saying, in my mind, I was like, they probably were trying to figure out where the keys at for this plane that's been sitting in the garage collecting dust. Real quick, rinse it off, gas it up, and get these people on this plane so we can go ahead and get them to Atlanta. Now, remember what I told you in part 1, where the pilot, the captain, again, in my words, he basically was like, I don't know what y'all gonna do, but I'm clocking out in 4 hours, because they were going to be max at their time. So I'm like, oh man, so what y'all gonna do with the crew? Because again, we're almost at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, who gonna fly us? These are questions going through my head. I'm not actually asking anyone, but I'm like, who gonna fly the plane that's been sitting in the garage this whole time? Damn. Anyway, we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. Gate agent comes back. Ladies and gentlemen, your plane is here. I'm looking around like, where? Harpo, where the plane at? Then he says, your plane is located at gate 31. When he said, your plane is located at gate 31, I could have sworn I heard someone go, what? And so now, for those of you who are not familiar with LAX, gate 31 is not far from where we were. But it was late at night. People are tired. And now you're telling us we got to walk to our new gate. So he tells everyone, please grab your things. If you just go around the corner, you will see gate 31. We all walk around the corner. Some people left, but that's none of my business. And we head to gate 31. We get there, we grab a seat. There's a new gate agent. Ladies and gentlemen, he introduced himself. I'm so-and-so, and I'll be your gate agent. They are cleaning the plane right now. Craft services are there. And once they give me the go-ahead, I'm going to begin boarding. And I'm laughing because I'm like, well, at least they're going to try to feed us. Like, that's sweet. Craft services. And I'm thinking to myself, hopefully this plane is like the other plane, because the other plane was like a new 2025 version. It was nice. So about 30 minutes, between 15 and 30 minutes later, new gate agent says, we're ready to begin boarding. It is now almost 2:30 in the morning. I look a hot diggity damn dog mess. I look like, say something about my mama. Say something about my mama. Say one wrong thing. That's how I was looking, y'all. I kid you not. So he says, let's begin with our pre-boarding for those of you who need more time, or, the pre-boarding process. Everybody lines up. because I guess everyone was like, we all need more time, damn it. It's 2:30 in the morning. So then we board on the plane. As soon as I stepped on the plane and I saw the seats, I said, damn, they got this shit out the garage. No hate to Delta. But when you get off of the 2025 plane and you get on the 1997 plane, it does kind of feel like, hey, y'all know good and damn well. Y'all took this thing out the garage. But nevertheless, beggars can't be choosers. So I get in the seatbelt still. I didn't need an extension. I was feeling skinny. And we all board. So I'm just like, Lord, I'm so tired. Have you ever been so tired where you almost could cry because you want to go to sleep? And I'm trying to make myself stay awake because it's already been an eventful, evening, or eventful morning, I should say. So we all get on there. It took a while, but we all get on there. It's almost 3:00 in the morning. And then finally I feel us push back. Now, I'm going to say this because this is part of the story and this is my experience. I feel like the crew did everything they could to make us comfortable. But when you fly first class on Delta, the first thing that they usually will say is, would you like something to drink while you wait? And in this particular instance, when we got on the plane to take us to Atlanta, I feel like they were like the mom that's telling the kids, go ahead and get in bed and go to sleep. And if I have to walk by here and I see you awake, I'm gonna whoop your behind. Because she had this look on her face where she was just like, I ain't offering y'all shit. Sit down, buckle up, and we're about to leave. Got me out here working and I'm supposed to be like, it was just funny because she was sweet, but you knew not to ask her, can I get a cranberry juice? Because she would look at you like, if you don't put your motherfucking seatbelt on, close your window shade and go to bed. You don't need no damn cranberry juice. That's how I felt. She didn't say it, but that's how I felt because my sleeping pill was telling me that's what she was thinking. So anyway, we push back. Captain comes on. It was no, hi folks, we're so glad to have. No, it was like, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking from the flight deck. Look, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get this plane in the air. Please go ahead and fasten your seatbelts. Flight staff, flight crew, please prepare the cabin for takeoff. Whatever it is, cross checking all call. I don't know whatever they said. We push back, y'all. We get to the end of the little street, or what, it's not a street, but the end of the terminal. We make it to the runway. So I was like, okay, we really about to take off. He hit that turn to get to the main runway. If you've ever flown, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's that last turn right before you get to the long part. And a lot of times the plane will stop and it seems as if they're waiting for, the tower, who was probably on their 15-minute break, to tell him you're clear to go. Nah, Buddy Man hit that turn like, yeah, we finna go because y'all got me fucked up because I'm supposed to be off in like an hour and a half. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit this turn and we're going to take off. He hit that turn. I felt a little bit of like a pause where the plane does, that kind of thing. And then I heard them engines and we were up in the air. And that's the last thing I remember. And then I woke up to, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, we're beginning our initial descent into Atlanta. It was so dark on that plane, nobody had their window shades up. So I actually thought it was still night, like we were still in nighttime. Opened up my shade and I saw that brightness coming through. I was like, oh no, Jesus. Sure enough, we landed in Atlanta, safe and sound. And guess what? There's a quick part 3. Don't worry, it's coming. All right, part 3 of my red-eye experience. So we get closer to Atlanta. Everyone starts lifting up their shades. I lift up mine because I have a ritual. I lift up my shade so I can see where we start landing into Atlanta and we cross over 285 because that lets me know I'm home. So when I start seeing 285 and I start seeing 85 and I start seeing things that remind me I am in the ATL, it just makes me feel a little better. So anyway, we land we pull up to our terminal, and then of course they say, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome you to Atlanta. The current time, remember, we were supposed to land at around 7:15. By the time we actually land in Atlanta, it is, I believe, if I memory serves me correctly, it was almost like 11:30. So this is much later than the 7 o'clock time. So I am just like, Lord Jesus. I looked like that scene from Living Single when Khadijah was sick and people were trying to talk to her and she was just like, they were like, good morning, Khadijah. And she was just, so that's how I looked. Anyway, get off the plane, immediately go to the bathroom because I had my hoodie on. Went to the bathroom. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, this is exactly what I did. I put my hair back on. Because when we landed at 7:15, my plan was no one's really gonna be there. It's not a big deal if I walk through the airport with a bonnet and a hoodie on. It's still early. Well, landing almost at 11:30, almost 12 o'clock, I was like, it was packed and busy. So yes, I will admit I went to the bathroom and I put my hair on, so that way I didn't look a frightful mess. But judge me later. So then proceed. I was grateful because we landed safely and I was back in Atlanta. Go get something to eat, then go grab an Uber and go home. And the moral of the story is, number one, I ain't doing a red eye ever again. Okay, I'm not. Number two, I should wait to take the sleeping pill when we're in the air. But most importantly, as funny as this story was and the thoughts I was having and the fact that they pulled the plane from the garage, rinsed it off, gassed it up once they got the keys, I'm grateful that whatever happened with that plane happened when we were on the ground. Let me be very, very clear. Yes, it was an inconvenience, but I would rather be delayed than not show up. So thank you, Delta Airlines. Don't be mad that I did this story time because this was a funny story. But I'm grateful that whatever happened with that plane happened while we were still on the ground, because it could have been worse. It could have gone left. And no sooner than I actually was able to get back on my phone and get online did I see what happened with the flight from Charlotte to London, where they had to turn around because London's airport lost power. So there are people in far worse situations than me, but I ain't taking a red eye again. I ain't doing it. And then I will do my due diligence to take a sleeping pill once we're at the long part of the runway, because it's hard trying to stay awake with one eye open, one eye closed, and you fighting and you trying not to laugh because I get goofy when I'm sleepy. But we made it. Thank you, Delta. I'm still gonna fly Delta. But yeah, they pulled that plane from the garage. They did. Bye.